Joining me now, another man who, this presidential candidate did not participate in the main event. He was on the undercard, and then he, along with Governor Huckabee, went to the Trump event. And joining us now, Rick Santorum. But first, let's watch this.
The entire lead up to this debate was talking about whether Donald Trump is going to show up for the next debate. The people of Iowa, who I know pretty darn well, care a lot about the issues. They care about who's going to be the leader of the free world, who's going to be able to take on ISIS and take on Iran and make sure that we're safe. And we're not hearing any of those things. We're hearing about whether someone's going to show up for the next debate or not. You have a chance on Monday to put the record straight about who you want, not who will entertain you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joined right now we are by Rick Santorum, former U.S. Senator presidential candidate. Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
Good to talk to you. Okay, so let me ask you, first of all, and foremost, I guess, you've been criticized for what you did after being on the undercard on the Fox debate by none other than Michael Reagan. I want you to hear what Michael Reagan had to say about you and Governor Huckabee for going to Donald Trump's event. Let's listen.
It's always a Trump show, and I got to tell you, I think the last two caucus winners who went there to give credibility to Donald Trump were absolute fools. They're going nowhere. They're not going to win another caucus at all. They shouldn't even be in the debates. And then to go and give credibility or try to give credibility to Trump, Trump had to be laughing all the way back to his plane.
What do you say?
So many words. You know, not a single person has voted in Iowa. And we have all of these supposed conservatives running around saying that certain people don't deserve to be on the stage, certain people don't deserve to be heard. Wow, that sounds like a really great conservative approach to things, that, you know, we're going to let the media decide. Now we even have the media, the pundits in the media. They're going to decide who the legitimate candidates are. That's what's going on throughout this entire campaign. And the reality is that I know this finds hard to believe in the political world, which is so corrupt and so confused. I say corrupt, just not thinking clearly about how human beings actually interact. Everything has to have this stench of politics and this sort of Machiavellian undertones. The reality is, if the head of GM and the head of Ford got together to do an event for veterans, no one would say you should go together. That you're giving credibility. No, you go together because you're trying to help veterans. Mike Huckabee and I went there because we were asked to come to help support an event that was going to celebrate veterans and raise money for veterans, and that's why I came. I didn't come for any other reason. Mike Reagan knows me well enough to know that I'm not trolling for credibility. I don't need to troll for credibility like many others who are pundits in this world. I actually go out and work hard and stand for principles, and he knows that very darn well. And so I would just say that, you know, why don't you let the people of Iowa decide who should be on the stage and who shouldn't? Why don't you let the voters get a chance to see everybody? That's what has not happened in this race because we have the media elites who have decided that they're going to segregate this race for one reason, Steve. One reason.
And
money.
Money.
Money is the reason that they are segregating this race. They want to put people out there that draws more eyeballs.
So you're saying Fox News was guilty of that last night as well?
They were guilty of it. Every network has been guilty of it from the very beginning. Why do you think they put the people that are, quote, highest in the polls? Because those are the people that they believe will attract the most eyeballs. And that means they can charge more advertising rates. They're not interested in letting ideas. They're not interested in giving everybody in this race who is running a campaign, a legitimate campaign, I might add, to have an opportunity to be heard and have the voters decide. They're more interested in what their business is. Look, I don't blame them. I mean, they're in a business. But don't try to pretend that somehow or another that you're out there, you know, doing public service. You're not doing any public service. You're trying to sell hot dogs in your advert, or gold or something else on your cable station.
All right, let me ask you, Rick, about Donald Trump. Why do you think he didn't show up? Some people are saying he didn't want to get on the stage and face Ted Cruz over the abortion issue. Now, I just don't buy that. I mean, because he's not run from anything. Do you think he was running? And also, what about those like Michael Reagan and others who are saying Donald Trump, and you've said it, I think, is not a conservative?
Look, all you have to do is look at Donald Trump's record, and you can find out what his positions are. Most of them are not conservative. I don't think there's any question about that. I've been, I agree with Donald Trump on a few things, and one of them is immigration, and I've applauded him for making that a centerpiece. Another one is focus on blue collar workers, and that's another big thing of mine. But look, on abortion, he's not good on abortion, on marriage, and a whole host of issues that.
But why do you think? Why do you think he wasn't there yesterday when push comes to shove?
Steve, and in all due respect, my friend, I wish I had a nickel for every question I got about Donald Trump.
I know.
I got an issue about an issue. Look, what Donald Trump decides to do is Donald Trump's business. I don't care. Donald Trump gets enough of his own. I don't need to spend the time I have on to talk to the American public talking about Donald Trump.
Did you, when it comes to Iowa, what are you expecting? If you don't finish in the top 3 in Iowa, are you done?
Oh, look, I think I have to do well here in Iowa. We have to break out of the pack to get some momentum, and I'm very hopeful that we're going to be able to do that. And we'll make an assessment just like every campaign will after Iowa and after New Hampshire and after South Carolina. I mean, we're convicted to go out there and run. My plan is to hop on a plane if I can get out of snowy Iowa, and we're going to head to South Carolina on the next day. And I'm excited to take the campaign to South Carolina next. All
right, Rick, appreciate you coming on, sir, as always. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate it.
Rick Santorum, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting. Firing back at Michael Reagan, who fired at Rick Santorum and Mike Huckabee on Newsmax TV last night. We'll continue the conversation with Roger Stone. He's next. Don't go away on the Steve Malzberg Show.